All right, everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome back to school. We're going to spend the next couple of weeks working on all the CAD components related to the Puzzle Cube project. So if you don't remember what CAD is, think about it. CAD is computer aided design. So before the break, you should have made five drawings, one of each of your puzzle pieces, and your drawing should look like this. It should have the isometric up here, and then you should have top, front, and side view because you're going to use these to draw it. I'm going to start by drawing this front view using the line tool, and it's important to know the dimensions so that if this says 1.5, then that means this line from here to here is going to be 1.5 inches long. So when you log into the school computers, you'll have the eye on your desktop now. You don't have to use this remote login that I'm going to use. You should see it like here where you see this orange F. You should see an orange eye and just double click that. But I'm going to go ahead and use the remote desktop. So I'm going to pause while I log in. Double click on the eye to log in. All right, so I double clicked the eye that I found on the desktop, and you should do the same using the school computers. You can't do this on your personal device. Then, if you see screens like this, just click OK and then click I agree. And it should load. Give it a second to load. All right, and if I see any pop-up boxes like this, I'll just click OK, and it should get me through. And click OK again. And now I'm in here, and you're always going to start working. You can start learning on your own at home, but you can start working here. So you're going to end up making five parts for your puzzle cube. So you have to go back and look at the drawings that you did. So I'll make this drawing. This was Sam's drawing. I'll make this as an example. So I'm going to start by making this little L here, and then I'm going to extrude it back. And then I'm going to make a new sketch on the front, and I'm going to just make a cube or a square, and then I'm going to extrude it forward. It's going to be pretty easy to make, you'll see. So you start with a part because you have to make five parts, one part for each of your puzzle pieces. And it's sometimes a little slow. These giant software applications don't work as quickly as your phone apps. All right, so we always start with a sketch. Just to review, all your tools are up here in the ribbon. This over here lets you see the different views. This hand will let you move it around the screen. And this part right here shows you your this is like the browser history, so it shows you what you've done and it will create things in order. So once I click Start New Sketch, and I'm going to go from back to front, so I'll click XY Plane. Now you see the new sketches over here. So this is going to be the first L sketch. So you're going to go back and forth and look at this. I'm going to make the front view, and I'm just going to make this line 1.5. Then I'm going to go 0.75. Then from here to here is another 0.75. As you can see, it's dimensioned. From here to here is 0.75. 0.75 and another 1.5, and that's going to create the initial L shape that's in the back. So start with the line tool, click, and then you can extend it. You can either type the numbers in as you go and then hit enter, or let's say you mess up and something is not the way you want it. Like let's say you put this in and you're like, oh, that's 6.5, and you accidentally click on it. You can use the dimension tool to then change the dimension. Just click on that, 0.75. Oops. And then you go back to the line tool, and then you just come to the end when it turns green, and you continue. So this should be 0.75, and notice how it lines up. This should be 0.75, so you can just type in 0.75, enter, and it seems to have frozen. There you go. And then 0.75 back to the x-axis, and then back to the origin. And you need an enclosed shape. So let me just show you. Some of you, if you're having trouble doing this, let me show you what a common mess up is, because in order to extrude it, all of your lines have to connect and create an enclosed shape. So some of you might mess up and you might forget to put this last line at the bottom. So I'll just use the trim tool to get rid of the last line. And let's say I finish it like that. See how there's a gap now there? If I go to extrude it, it's actually going to give me this weird like cookie cutter looking shape. Anytime you see that, that should be a red alert to you or a red flag that, hey, I did not complete my sketch and enclose it. So what you have to do is you have to go back over here to where it says sketch. And I'm going to have to go back to the line tool and zoom in and connect the parts that I forgot to completely enclose it. So now that it's an enclosed shape, I should be able to extrude it. And when you're extruding it, we think about the depth. Well, 1 inch is that going to be right? Well, the depth is shown on either the side view up here or the front view. So if the entire depth is 1.5, right now I'm trying to extrude it from this back part to the middle. Oh, there's no number there, but I can subtract the 0.75 from 1.5, and I know that this should be 0.75 inches. So my depth should be 0.75. And just as a quick review, there are really only 3 measurements or dimensions you should be putting into this as you build it. What are they? Well, we just did 0.75. What are the other 2? 1.5, and then some of you have a piece that's going to be 3 cubes long, and that would be 1.5 plus 0.75, which is 2.25. All right, we're going to do one more sketch. So now the only thing that's missing in this L, if you look at it, is this little cube in the front. So I'm going to place a sketch right in that part of the L. I'm going to draw a square. Now that square is going to be 0.75 by 0.75. That's the square I'm going to draw. And then I'm going to extrude that from here to here, 0.75. And then I'm going to have to add the color. Please keep your colors the same. So this is blue. I'll make it a blue part. So start new sketch. I'll click on the part where I want to sketch it. Now another tool you can use for this is the rectangle tool. So you could go from here to here. And let's say I mess up and I put it out there. And I'm like, oh, Mr. Lantos, how do I change the dimensions? So you would click here, and then you could just click on the number, go 0.75. If you looked away, I clicked on the dimension tool. Notice it's blue. That means this tool is in use. If I hit the escape key in the top left, ESC, now that tool is no longer in use. So I'll click it again. It's blue. It's active. Oh, that's 0.726. So I click on that line. I drag, click again, and I go 0.75. And now I have a 0.75 by 0.75 square. Now I'm going to extrude that square. And since I already, last time I extruded 0.75, it did it again, which is what I want. And there is Sam's puzzle piece. Now you want to add color to it, which you have a drop down up here with all the color options. So you just click on that and you expand down to blue. And I'll do this blue. And then you want to save it. Save it as the name of the part, so it should be blue part, then your name, and then the period. So Sam's in period 3B, so I'll save it period 3B. You want to save it as an IPT or an inventor desk part. Then you do 4 more. Have fun.